A man accidentally dropped his watch while scuba diving. He immediately dove to the seafloor to look for it, but unintentionally discovered a strange rock. He quickly realized that the rock was not an ordinary one, so he hurriedly swam back to the surface and handed the rock to his girlfriend. With her extensive experience, his girlfriend recognized it as a ballast stone from an ancient ship. She suspected that there must be treasure buried nearby. Not long after, the four of them dove into the sea and began searching with iron rods. It didn't take long before the man made a discovery. He reached his hand into the sand to search, and when he pulled it out, he found a golden dagger from hundreds of years ago. Although its surface was rusty, the ruby embedded in the hilt proved that the dagger was extremely valuable. The great surprise made the man very happy, and he thought there must still be more treasure on the seafloor. Then they quickly put on all their gear and returned to the bottom of the sea. Just as the metal detector swept over an area, the needle on the gauge suddenly swung wildly. Two of them immediately realized that something was buried underneath. Their friend then turned on the sandblower at maximum power. Soon, an object came into view. It was an iron cannon from hundreds of years ago. Next, they tied ropes to both ends of the iron cannon. Then they pumped air into the airbag at the other end of the rope. They planned to use buoyancy to lift the several-ton iron cannon to the surface. However, just as the cannon was about to surface, the woman on the boat suddenly heard an alarm sound. It turned out the Coast Guard had arrived to conduct a random inspection. At the same time, the three people underwater also noticed signs of the Coast Guard's arrival. If the Coast Guard found out they were salvaging treasure, they would definitely confiscate everything immediately. As the airbag was about to surface, the man quickly told his partner to release some air so the iron cannon would stay submerged. However, when his partner released the air from the airbag, he accidentally opened all the valves. The iron cannon immediately fell to the seabed, and his partner's arm became tightly entangled by the rope. The next second, the falling cannon landed right on top of his arm. Seeing this, the man quickly swam over to try to save him, but the cannon was too heavy and he couldn't lift it at all. At that moment, all three of them were almost out of oxygen. The man had no choice but to pump the remaining oxygen into the airbag. With all his strength, he finally managed to lift the iron cannon and save his partner's life. Not long after, the three of them returned to the ship. Fortunately, the Coast Guard captain was a friend of his girlfriend. After a brief interrogation, the Coast Guard returned to their ship. The group did not give up, and when they returned to the seabed again, they saw a diamond stone.